Well, here is a brand new Victoria 2 After Action report, and this was my Denmark, but now Scandinavia SiR Light mod play game, which is one day away from finishing. And of course, remember, for all of you who don't remember, in the SiR Light mod, it does not end in 1935, it actually ends in 2035, well, 2036 actually. And I think once I get my older games I'm doing on this mod done, I might actually move it back to 1935 when it ends, because the game goes really, really bad in a lot of ways as the game goes on. But of course, this is actually, I believe, my oldest active game run. I've been doing this game since like July, August, or September of 2017, so almost 2 years old, because I was playing off and on. It was actually the first time playing Denmark 2, so I had a blast. As I start off by taking over some parts of like Morocco. I actually got really lucky with a whole bunch of infamy, so I was able to take over a big chunk of Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia, I think, or Tunis, by the early 1840s. I got really lucky with the prestige. I mean, the infamy, I mean to say. And I think it was in 1842 I became a great power and was able to form Scandinavia. And that's how it was for the rest of the game. So for the rest of the game, I pretty much till the 1870s just kept taking over Africa while colonizing. Took over parts of... No, that was someone else. One of the British, or some European power took that part of Yemen over, and I took that over myself later on. Took over parts of Pakistan, Abu Dhabi, and then later on in the game, I actually took over all of Indonesia, which I took over from the Netherlands, because I took them over. I attacked Scandinavia. I mean, not Scandinavia. I conquered New Zealand, and I took over a whole bunch of the islands that you see in the area. But I think all that was after the game was supposed to end in 1935, because after that, this game got extremely weird. And you're probably wondering, looking at that map, you're going to see exactly why it's so weird. Some point in the 1950s, I think the Soviet Union formed, and they literally took over, like, all of Europe. I'm not kidding. Like, all this was, like, all Europe. And then I thought they were getting too big, so I beat the crap out of them. And I took back, like, all their spheres in Europe. Or maybe took puppet. I mean, made puppets, because that's one of the things you can do in the SiR Light mod when you're at war with someone. And if you invade a territory that has cores, you can actually release them as a puppet, and after the war they become your sphere. So I beat the crap out of them, and then Prussia formed. I mean, I was still around. They fought the Soviet Union, and they took them over because they were fascist. So as you see right here, all this was Prussia. They were all over Europe, Africa, everywhere. It was so ridiculous. And likewise, I thought they were getting too big, so I attacked and broke them up. And I left them with just all this out here and South Africa, pretty much. And then, of course, Russia, I thought, was like starting to get like back into position of being a great power again after I destroyed them as the Soviet Union. So I think it was in the 1980s, late 80s, early 90s, I invaded Russia again, and I completely destroyed them. I made all of Eastern Europe under my control, pretty much. And after that, the game got extremely weird. There was Germany, which was still fascist because it was no longer Prussia. I broke them up into separate German states, but they eventually reformed again. I had to break them up. France, the British got too big for me, so I broke them up. I broke France up. Austria-Hungary, I think, fell apart naturally on their own. No, they were part of Germany, and then I broke them up afterwards. And same goes for Italy, too. Like, all of Europe pretty much was under their control. It was so ridiculous, and I had to keep spending hours after, like, each war redrawing the map to a more realistic sense. So, yeah, like, the British, they're a puppet now because I had to reconquer them. And, not conquer, make them a puppet. France is my puppet. Germany doesn't exist. It's a couple German states. All of my puppets. Austria is my puppet. Actually, no. Yeah, they are my puppet, but I never broke them up. They were already broken up by the time I got to them. Russia, broken up. The Ottomans I had to break up because they were being too much of a problem, and now they're my puppet. So, yeah. The only great power in Europe is Spain. Unless you want to consider Prussia still Europe, even though all its territory is in Asia. So yeah, this game's really weird. As you see right here, the USA, and this is what I'm talking about in the SiR Light mod, because the game goes on for so long, it makes the US broken in terms of power because of the industry. The US in this game has a population of 1.28 billion people. They depopulated a shit ton of Europe and Asia, like China, even though China has all this population right here. All this, they don't even have 400 million. They have less population now than they did at the beginning of the game. That's unbelievable. India's depopulated too. Like, Europe is basically depopulated except for my areas. It's just so weird. So crazy. But as the game went on, as you see, I took over more crap from, like, the European powers when I took them over and shit. I actually took parts of South America over from the British when I broke them up. Took over their colonies in the Caribbean, since it wouldn't come to my head, and I gave some to, like, Mexico because they helped me out in the war effort. I actually fought America twice, and I couldn't break them up because I never could outright invade them because they were just too damn large. But I beat them in enough land wars where the point I got enough war score to, like, cut them down to size effectively. If I was able to, like, beat them in one battle, which took like 4 years and never actually got resolved, I might have actually been able to break them up, but it would have been, like, so unrealistic for, oh, America's going to accept being broken up after losing, like, one long-ass war, even though they had all their fighting forces left. So I just let them be, except just cut the size. Colombia, on the other hand, Paraguay had, like, all of South America except for, like, Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, Grand Colombia, Mexican, South America, my shit right here. I had to break them up too because I thought they were getting too big. So yeah, this game was really weird and crazy, but it was a lot of fun. And of course, even though I'm second place in the world, this is actually my highest scoring game ever. 15,564 points, which beats my previous score as Russia, which was 11,191, I believe it was. Although, who are we kidding? When you have an extra 100 years, it's pretty much guaranteed you're going to have an inflated score. That's why after this game is over, and I got a game on here as Japan, Croatia, and Burma on my desktop, and of course my Egypt SiR Light mod, which I still on Daily Motion, but I'm canceling that, so I'm going to delete the files very soon. Once all that's done, I'm going to actually revert this mod back to 1935, which it honestly should be, because at this, although it would be nice to expand the game beyond 1935, it's just so ridiculous. America becomes too big for their own good. They actually just harm the rest of the game in terms of the world when they depopulate Europe and Asia. They become unbelievably unstoppable, especially with the industry. Look at that! 50,000 points! 50,000 points industry! I'm the second most industrialized country in the world, and I'm only 1/10 of their power. They literally gain like 20-something points now each day because their population just won't stop growing. And then the rebels in this game become unbelievably bad, even though you have all the reforms. Right, you see right here, I got all the reforms, and everyone's getting their needs met. They just won't give up. They need to fix that, so, like I did in my video about how to fix Victoria 2 to make it better. When you get, like, all your supplies and stuff, and you get all the reforms, the people should just be content and be happy and stop revolting. As you see right here, I got a whole bunch of rebels going on, pretty much. And, of course, it was kind of annoying having to go around fighting everyone in Europe and shit, breaking them up, giving them to, like, allies and crap. But it was still fun. It was my most successful game as both as Denmark and Scandinavia. And it was still fun. Especially making Europe be my loyal, like, NATO, effectively. All of Europe pretty much is under my control. But as the game ended, America became #1, Scandinavia's #2, China's 3, Japan's 4, Colombia, how about that? Colombia, great power. Spain stayed a great power. Prussia actually came back after getting destroyed and literally kicked out pretty much all of Germany, and Peru's a great power. That's something you never expect to see. But that ends off this video right here, as of course I'm now getting the maps right now, as you'll see the world maps and the final scores. So I hope you enjoyed this. my Denmark Scandinavia SiR Light mod game, and that was my most successful Denmark and Scandinavia game. Hope to play them again. Maybe try to do Scandinavia Sweden, see if I could do any better. Hope you enjoyed.